Hello guys, welcome back. Uh, yeah, in the last session we discussed and learned how to create clean topology using Nomadsculpt remesh quad remesher option, uh, and also few techniques how to create the eye using a sphere, UV sphere, and also how to create the mouth cavity by just playing around with the face groups and even the nostrils. So if someone didn't watch it, and if you are new to Nomadsculpt, I would highly recommend watching that video. It's a 1 hour session, not even a 1 hour session. And this is a continuation of that. What is the purpose of a clean topology in while you're modeling? So if I remove the face group and wireframe, we can now it is in subsurface. It feels like an opaque object, but gives a skin feel like a plastic as well. But you can see the number of vertices is 45k in this case, and you have all the features close to a high poly mesh. This is still high poly for a few of the professionals, but for us this is fine. And what is the purpose of having such a meshes? So let's say you subdivide with sharp borders, you're gonna have more mesh now, and even more with this. Now when I remove it, you start to paint, or let's say paint with black, and I can go to finer details. Let's see how fine we can go. Yeah, and this is the finest you can go. There are pixels, right? And that is where having a high quality mesh helps you, because now you can generate in the misc menu, you can unwrap it using two techniques. There are two available tools, UV Atlas and BFF UV unwraps. For our mesh, which I have already unwrapped it, and yeah, I'll do it along with you. This is a wireframe. I'm gonna use BFF. Let's see how it looks. And in the inspect mode, oh, it's already unwrapped, so it does have mesh, and it has been unwrapped using this BFF. So you can see how neatly it has been split. Since you had those topology properly created, that is the reason the layout is neat. And now you can actually export this as an OBJ, just the selected, and save it, export it into there is direct option. You can export it into Procreate as well. So if you open it in Procreate, I already opened it here, so you can actually do high definition paintings here, and also you can export back as 3D models. So share again, OBJ, it gives you options, and you can even choose again Nomadsculpt from the list. And this is one way, and you can even open the the UVs in Procreate, and you can paint it here, with different colors, might be even high detailed images, and then export it, save it into images. Now once you are in Nomad, you can actually use the color. Let me hide this so that you can see what I mean. So this already been painted. I can let's say go from files. I can bring in that paint, the painted version of the UV from the model itself, or you can even use the roughness value. I don't know if I did download it. So if you bring in the roughness with that texture, that gives that. And if you give it into emission from photos, you get that glow effect. And you can even adjust the emission intensity. You can see the lips glowing now because I didn't paint on the lip. So both the color section and the emission section has the same mesh, and it overlaps and it glows. And since we are playing around with just the painted UVs, it doesn't takes much space, it doesn't require much memory, and that means even with a lower end of your iPad, you can handle the your iPad can handle it easily. From the past session, I just adjusted few things here. I just moved the head slightly up, and also the chin was too long. It felt as if I thought of having a beard, so I sculpted along with the face itself, and I thought let's make it as a different session where I can add the beard or other hair follicles, and I can add in the session we can see that. I thought of doing a live session yesterday, but I wanted to have be prepared mentally before even doing this, because also I need to have some time, right? So for recapping on the mesh, so you can see this can still be optimized if you want to. What I mean by optimization is, you can see there is a nostril groove here. Typically that I would recommend having that in as an edge of two face groups, and also we know there will be a groove, a small groove from your nostril towards your lips, which comes under your cheek, and that can be also done using the edge of two face groups. And if you want to do that, you just need to re-choose, like paint it back on your face group, and if it's gonna be still till here, and then from there I can merge it to this, and since I'm doing it here on this spot, I'm gonna now use the relax tool, try to relax this spot. If it didn't work properly, as I said before, dynamic topology, choose whatever mesh size you would require, and click on the blue or on the pink, whichever works for that case, and then during your as you relax it, it softens the edges. Yeah, let me try to increase the brush size. Perfect. Just softened it. Now once it is done, just need to remesh it. Quarter measure, same. Try to half it if in case you're having too many vertices. So it is 21,000. So see what happened there? I don't want that to be distorted. Yeah, that looks neat. Now if you see in I'm gonna remove this and wireframe, and if you see the face group now, and if I smooth this spot here using smooth tool, you can see that a small the edge is created here, and that will be visible when you're having the when you are switching off the face group. So that is how we can actually create those profiles just by managing your edges of face groups. Even with like this, I didn't even use inflate tool. Like in a regular situation I should use inflate tool, and that's how it comes there. And I know it is gonna be there, but it is still distorting your wireframe, right? And in some cases the wireframe, see if for this case you can see this wireframe is not on the path, on the direct path of whatever detail you have given there. So this is for fine details like the edges of your nose, nostril, even around your eyes. Let's say you want ridge here, instead of using inflate, you can actually separate that into different face groups. So you want a groove or like a small detail under your eye and around your the top and bottom eyelashes. You just need to use the face group and dot mode. I'm gonna do it like this, and using the auto pick, it's too large. I can define until where I want it. So it typically comes from here to here, the detail. And yeah, I'll leave it at there. And this section I'm gonna remove. And that is where I'm going to leave it at this for the bottom section. I can even reduce this size. So for that, as I do before, dynamic topology, enable it, play around with your desired settings, and you can remove that. And it goes to that portion there and here, and you can sharpen it towards this. Yeah, I know there are a few triangles formed inside the yellow region. We can sort it out. So now go into relax mode, try to relax it, might even remove the decimate, use the same tool, fill it wherever you want, even the missing triangles. Now that is done, use the relax mode, dynamic topology, relaxing the edges. And once it's relaxed, you can even use the smooth. In some cases smooth might give you a proper topology, and make sure you're having the dynamic mesh active. That should work for the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the top. So that is going to be a different phase group. Since we are in symmetric mode, both the sides have been covered. And I'm going to add a new phase group for the top. Let me switch off the, and in this case I'm going to use here, and let me join till this point here. Okay, now that is done, just need to go dynamic topology, same auto pick active, and now you can chop whatever regions are too much, so you can see how it is creating. Did I have gestures on? No. Okay. Now that has been done, I will make sure dynamic topology is removed and fill back those triangles there. Now again, a smooth. It's so satisfying when you use the smooth tool. Yeah. Alright, you got it. That's okay. That's fine. That is fine. Might be towards this side here. Okay, let's save this so that it doesn't crash us when I do quad mesh. I'm going to use the same technique, same. Yeah. For time being, I'm going to remove these details, which can be added later on anyway. Yeah. And it need not be in this phase as well. It can be as a separate body because it is still details, right? God, sure, same. Yeah, you see what happened here? That means I just need to make sure I add one loop. See, only one loop is there. I add another loop. So by just make sure sharp border is active and subdivide. So it gives actually a loop there. Now again in quad measure, I'm going to use same, which will consider there is a loop there and it tries to match it. So that's how you can maintain the same quality. Slightly smoothen this. And might be somewhere here, smooth it out. Guess I'm not giving the detail on the mesh. Quad measures, same. Okay. Okay, now that we know it's there, just need to increase the smooth. Let's try to do the same method. You see what's happening there? The face group is going in since there is an edge loop. And if you hide the face group and wireframe, you can see that's how the detail slowly comes around your eye. And if you don't want that to have those harsh regions, you can always switch off the face group. Make sure you switch off the face group and smooth it out towards the edges. So if you are having this face group on, see what's happening there. Okay, don't want that. And you can even further add another loop around this to give the double layer effect. It might be smooth at the bottom edge. Yeah, you see there, got the detail around the eye. Just using face groups and no sculpting, not much of sculpting there. And now when you export it, you can easily paint it as I shown before. I did show this one, right? Solo mode. Yeah, I did show this. Okay, now that is done, let's try to create some hair follicles. I did previously do a shorts video, and someone asked if they can showcase how to create those hairs. This can be considered as a reply to that message. I'm gonna tag this video to that to whoever put that message, so that they'll know. If they already learned it, good, that's fine. Okay, there are multiple ways you can create hairs on Nomadsculpt. You can use for example, just select a mask, a certain region. Let's say you have this, and you can extract it. Might be with some smoothness, and extract. So that is a separate body. Let's say I want it to be painted with some darker color, no metal, somewhere good roughness, making it opaque. Paint all, so that there is a separate body, and you can sculpt on that using all the available tools, right? That is a separate body by itself. And if you don't want those face groups, you can even play around with that as I shown before. This technique, so again, inflate or deflate or smooth it, so it got smoother. And what else? Grease. We can use grease tool. So say play with, so it doesn't have enough detail at this point. So if you see in wireframe mode, it doesn't have enough detail, so I'm gonna give it so since I'm gonna do on that body, I'm gonna just use dynamic topology, which should be easier even without doing voxel remesh. So with dynamic remesh active, I'm gonna increase the detail now. So if you see, you can do all those sculpts, and if you see in the wireframe mode, it is actually creating new wireframes as you sculpt on it. This technique, if you are doing some 3D prints, you just need some visual looks which looks like hair but not hair follicles, actual hair follicles, then this should be far enough for 3D prints, because with actual hair looking follicles, those are going to be very thin objects. You can't 3D print, right? And you can even move it slightly in. That's how. Yeah, this is the simple method. You can sculpt on an extracted object, and it's all gonna be there on the body. And once you have done it, let's say you think there are too many details on that mesh. So you see what is the number of triangles? It is too much, right? You can voxel remesh it. Might be decimated further. That might 50, 50, 50. So 50% decimation in mask menu. You already 14K, and it looks neat for hair. In a sense, once you are having less number of triangles, you can easily manipulate the objects. You can move it around, inflate it certain regions if they are too much inside. Yeah, this is a simple regular method which you can use so that the objects are going to be 3D printable. And this is the same way you can follow to create details around the object. Like, since you already had a clean topology, you can easily select it, extract mask. What I mean by that is, let's say I want to have a face mask for this character. Let's say I'm gonna delete this for time being, and let's say I want a metallic mask around just the skull. Yeah, I'll split the bottom section to a separate face group. Making sure it is just around the jaw, and I'm working with symmetry on, so I need not worry about the other side. Yeah, if your character is not symmetrical, that's when you have to do it all double time. Yeah, and auto pick now there. Sorry. Okay, that has been filled. Now you know that's there. I'm gonna use the relax tool just to relax the edges and there as well. And around the chin. So keep quarter measure same. This time it neatly separated the bottom half. So what are the other use of having clean topologies? Like, wherever you want a special detail. For this case, let's say I want a metallic mask on the face. Let's say this is like a cyber character. I'm gonna just extract Sharp borders. I don't want the smoothness, do I? Sharp borders. I'm gonna leave the smoothness of this. Yeah, smoothness does have some good effect on these edges, so I'm gonna leave it and extract and clear all. Face group has been cleared. If you see in smooth mode, that object is there. I'm gonna change it to opaque, paint it with some metallic color, and yeah, you see that that's a now we can even reduce the number of vertices I have, which gives you clean edges, and you see that's just 3000. And in smooth mode, you see those are all looking smooth. If I go make it smoothness off, it gives that rough edge look, but for this I want it to have that sharp edge look. What you can do is now, since already the number of vertices are low, I'm gonna keep the sharp border on and subdivide it 1 or 2 times. See how it gives the sharp look. And if you go into post-processing mode, and the number of vertices is 60k for that object, which is too much actually. So I'm gonna try decimate it further. Half. Let's see the wireframe mode. How many? 1000. Okay. And now if I do the same subdivide, see those sharp edges within 27k vertices. And you can do the same thing for your skull as well. Let's say I want a feature on the skull itself. Wireframe mode. I'm gonna use. Let's create a new detail here by using face groups dot. I'm adding one symmetry on, just a small dot there, and relaxing it. While relaxing, I'm enlarging the close to a circle, let's say, and use it same. Solo view, make sure nothing got distorted. Yeah, it's neat. And now if I select mask this, now if I extract it, and I'm gonna pin this, so I'm gonna show what I mean here. Let's extract on both the sides. If you do that, you got an option, instead of extracting, you also got an option to carve. So once you click the carve, see what's there. It has actually carved. So let me add few more edge loops, divisions, and then carve. Solo mode. Let's see it without. Yeah, it looks like a dent there, but the wireframe is not neat as expected. Let's try to relax it. same. Okay, that's late. And yeah, that is the purpose of clean topology. We got it. Painted, let's say opaque, and remesh half, wireframe mode half. And now if I go and subdivide with sharp border, it looks like that. Okay, now let's go for the hair as we spoke before. So this head is, save it. For the hair, since you already have the face group that is going to make the job easier, you need a tube path. So let's say I create a curve, it just creates there. And since you already know snap mode is there, click the vertices. And now if you have the snap with vertices and wireframe mode on, it's gonna be here. If you are worried about like having the full object in your screen and manipulating it could be annoying, so what you can do is you can clone it, hide this, invert, and delete just the top. Might be even hide this and this, invert and delete. You just got the outer loop, let's say. And remove the solo mode, might be hide that. Now the tube is here. I'm gonna hide the eyeball as well. So with the vertex snap mode, you can actually snap to the edges, right? And just try to follow the path. Maybe create one here to go this edge. And since you are having that snap mode on, it just snaps automatically whenever you move. It finds the vertex closer to it and snaps it there. I'm gonna create, there is not many vertices, so I'm gonna just create all the points required. There's not that these many points are not required anyway, but to make sure the hair doesn't goes out of the body, I'm gonna snap all those there. Okay, that is one. Even I don't want these many details anyway. Is there the curve is there just to create the curve repeater. So you can, so what I did was, in the tube tool there is an option to create a curve repeater using the tube itself, if you didn't know. So just click that, it creates a tube. So I'll switch it on, I'll do it again. Curve repeater will generate an array which can be moved around anywhere, just on the tree. And this is a separate tube. Now you don't want the tube, the array is there. Array is just the path. And if you in the gizmo mode, you can see there the gizmo is there, and that typically the green axis, what is the green, the XYZ, I don't know which axis this is, but the green axis defines the direction of the curve. If I put any object under this, so let's pin that, add, might be add without pinning, add on gizmo a tube, and let's say reduce its size. Further snapping it, and reduce the size further. Don't worry about there, it just snaps wherever you take it. You know, the array is here, that is it. This is your first hair, and let's snap it with vertices to the first vertex where you want it. And you know that is there, and let's snap it for time being on the surface. Now you know that is on the surface, make sure you reduce it, radius as much as you want for your hair, and now you're going to array it, right? So what array does is, it's typically on default has 2 count, so it has been arrayed 1 and 1 has come here. Remove the wireframe mode, it's on the other side as well. But imagine these, if you add hundreds of these, it's gonna require so much memory space. So what we can do is reduce the tube count divisions as much as possible. 3 I have given here, might be even divisions. So this division defines in solo mode, I'll show you in wireframe. This defines how many edges are formed, cross loops are formed. You can you choose that number based on how many bends you want on your hair. So with this tube active, I'm gonna unpin this. I'm gonna remove the snap mode now, and left view or whatever, right view, let's take it out. So it's not snapping to the surface anymore, it is moving forward. Add another point in between and bend it. So you can see the other hair is also bending now, and you can bend whatever direction you want. And if you choose the double radius, there you can thin the top section and maybe paint it black with less metalness, more roughness. Since I have only one bend, do I want 8? Let's see, reduce it at least 11. Okay, at least 8 was nice, neat. Actually 8 was perfect. If I choose this and remove the face group mode, that is a hair there, right? And now go for the array there. Let's try to increase the number of hair follicles. So it is 304. I don't want that many. 204. Not bad. The cool part about this array tool is you can choose any object within the array and you can edit it straight away, which defines the curve. So even though you created it there, you can choose any object in between and choose the direction where you want to tilt it. So for this case, I use it here. As you get that look, the curved look. Now that is curved, I want the length to be shortened towards the edge, right? So that's how the pale hair is gonna be. So that's obviously in the array tool, choose 2 radius, might be multiple radius if you want. Reduce the radius gradually from the from one side towards the middle. Do the same on the other side as well. Come on. It is clear in this view. Yeah. So that's where there's too many number of points. Yeah, too many number of radius you have to adjust. Always trying to learn from the mistakes. Yeah. Might be this view. It is, you can see this is large. What if we make this intersection longer? Maybe here longer as well. There feel much longer. And another option within this, yeah, you can show or hide all these. I'm gonna hide everything. You can just see how it looks. And another cool option here is you can randomize. And when you randomize, you can also choose what are the things you want to randomize. Rotation, translation, or the scale. So you can choose that, and you can even adjust those numbers. Translation is just XYZ locations, and now we can increase the count if you want. Might be rotation is too much, and you can just reduce that. And if I hide this, show that is there, and you just need to add it to the mirror of your eyeball, and it's going to be on both the sides. That is for that. If you want multiple layers of it, just duplicate this array, clone it, and play around with the randomize a bit. If you want to adjust the location, that gives a double layer effect if you want. And might be play around with the numbers, reduce it, so it gives 2 layer, so you're not redoing the same job. And is it in post processing view? You will not see the number of those yeah, I'll remove the post processing. And now if you want to do the same thing for your eyebrow, Yeah, it should be simple. I'm gonna use few points in this case. I'll click on this and then tube, right? Where is this? Yeah. Okay. Why am I not able to? Okay. Just a tube path. Let me save this. I'm not able to edit the tube. Why? No, I'd have to reopen it in Nomad. Yeah, see, the points were not visible. It just crashed for some reason. I was able to save it happily. Wireframe again. Just make sure the snap is active. Let's reduce the number of vertices. Snap on whatever points you want. And one here might be. Yeah, whenever it goes within the body, you better create another point in that location. Okay, now that you know where you want your eyebrow to fall, let's move it further a bit. And here. Yeah, let's leave it as it is. And now let's convert it into a repeater. Take it out, hide the tube for later. And that is a repeater there, and switch on the gizmo. It shows you where the gizmo for that array is, and add tube on gizmo. It's gonna create a huge tube. Let's reduce the size and snap it to the face. Reduce the size. Let's limit it to 3 and this one to 6. In the array mode you can see where it is, so it starts here, and that means this has to come somewhere here. As usual, increase the radius and remove the snap view, and okay, you can even snap if you want. Just snaps to the body and reduce the diameter of the bottom. This one as well. Might be add another point in between without snap and give extra radius. This one 0, this one a bit more. You can also move it inside the body like this and add few more edges. Now let's paint it black and the array increase the number of hairs you want. As you know, you can choose wherever you want, and when you're having the snap active, it snaps to the face of the body. That I don't want snapped, so you see there is there. Then move it slightly in. Okay. As usual, go to the array and add more radius. Reduce the radius towards the edge. Increase in the middle. And add some randomized option. Scale, we can reduce it. Rotation and translation. Okay. And might be as a whole reduce the size. That is one set of hair. You just need to clone it and in the array move it away, play around with the randomization in the array, with the second array, right? Randomization with rotation, scale, translation as well. And even you can even start the object from a different point. Just click it there, and you can use the transform tool. I should select the object. Now, Gizmo. I need to save it again. Oh, for some reason it is crashing. Transform. I thought the transforms works like that. Okay, it doesn't. Guess not. When we transformed it, this case I'm gonna move it. So for the hair follicles, it usually goes like in weird directions for your eyebrow. So you'll have to create multiple copies of the same array, and you can even play with the number of counts here and sizes. Yeah, that's how we can play with the hair options in Nomad. So if you mirror it, it's going to be mirrored. Post process, that's that. And face groups looks like this. And you can see 279 MB memory at this point, which is not bad. And yeah, I'm gonna show you what I did similar to this before. This one here, I try to do the same thing with this hair, and see, it's just a mirror with multiple hairs. Yeah, this is what I had in my shot. For this case, yeah, I painted the eye. And how many? Oh, I had 12, so I was fine with having more number of vertices for this case. which made it look better than the other version. And for this hair here, these are not individual strands, rather it is like a texture. So I created a texture in Procreate. It just drew straight lines, imported it into Nomadsculpt and used that as a texture for a tube. It is just a tube in solo mode. If you see face group and wireframe on, how many triangles? Like 10 and 103. The wireframe is always off, I think. Yeah, that's why. You see? I could go with the smoothness. Yeah, that's how that hair was created. If someone is interested to learn about that, please let me know. That should be a simple tool. I have seen many of you play around with this. This should be simple. It's just easy. Create a normal, bring it in, and use that as a strand. And the cool thing is that you can even twist the hair, right? If someone wants to give curls, got options. Yeah, that's it for today's stream. I'll quickly show some interesting stuff which I did the other day. So if you guys didn't know, the Discord is here, Nomadsculpt Discord, and in the off top, yeah, this tutorial here, this is what is yesterday's day before yesterday's live stream for clean topology. If someone wants to go watch it, please. The off topics, if you search for links, and I remember it was Beso. He uploaded a link where yeah, this link here, if you click that, he saved this in his GitHub. For some reason it is not working. Let's see if it works. Might be since I'm live stream it doesn't work, so I don't know if that is the reason. Yeah, and I created those wireframes using his tool, and yeah, amazing tool which he created, which I wish, yeah, this is working. So let's say I bring the same body, solo mode, the wireframe is already like this. I'll remove the processing, and if I export this as a obj file, saved to the name is project 56, I'm gonna save it and import the model, downloads, where is recent, project 56 obj, the body is here, and with the default setting, if you click generate, oh, I think it has been subdivided, right? No, okay, that was not the case. This is the default setting, and if you reduce the tube geometry to 05. Generate. See what's happening there. It generates a mesh of your mesh for your mesh, and might be even finer. Let's give it 2. Generate. Okay, you got this. Can export this into, say, export GLB, preparing GLB. It's an amazing tool which Bezo created. Thank you, man. I think the number of triangles are too much for this to handle. I don't know which memory it is considering. Is it my iPad or is it being processed online? But it takes a while if you're processing heavy files. But this doesn't looks like a heavy file issue. Okay, let me try to. Okay, I think it is because of my connection. But what you can achieve out of it, that's what matters, right? See here, I was able to convert a tube into a mesh, and the mesh into another mesh. So if you see that as a solo view, I'm gonna hide the tube extract first and remove the post-processing so that it doesn't glitches. Okay. Those looks like steel structures. Those are actually a wireframe converted again into wireframe from using his tool, and that feels like a steel structure for the Zeppelin. Yeah, there are a lot of possibilities. I even tried to use that to create yeah, obviously just crashes. Open. Let's see if it can open, or else I'll open a different model. Yeah, it did finally. You can see I was able to generate those details like an ornament. If you guys didn't watch this video how I created this character dress, it is there in the previous live stream. And yeah, this dress was created using Bezos tool. Yeah, I could have achieved the same by sending it to Blender, but this tool allows me to do it within my iPad. I don't want to transfer again to my laptop, do it like that. And some baskets. Amazing. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll plan to do once 2 days the live streams once for 2 days, so that I can prepare something before doing the live streams, some specific topics and ideas. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.